Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, today I decided to come on here and make a quick Christmas card. I know we're down to the wire here. We're less than 10 days away from Christmas. I was able to complete all the Christmas cards I needed for my annual donation, but now it's time to start on my cards for next year's donation. And I thought, let me do something pretty quick and easy in case somebody wanted to make a quick and easy card. So I'm going to be using this stamp set by Colorado Craft Company. It is their big and bold line, and this one is Believe. And I'm using the large Santa Claus image and the sentiment that says hand delivered by Santa Claus. Now I am going to use some Canson watercolor paper, and I've already gone ahead and cut that down. And I've got my card bases in black, and then I've got some matte layers in red. And then here's a scrap of that watercolor paper that I use to test colors out on. So I have gone ahead and placed my image and sentiment where I need them. So I will go ahead and put my watercolor paper down, and I'm going to brush this with some anti-static powder because I am going to be doing some heat embossing, just so that the watercolor kind of stays in its little well, so to speak, when I'm watercoloring. So I'm using my VersaFine ink here to do my stamping. And let's see how quick and easy this card actually is to make. Now, full disclosure, I did one off camera first to see if I liked the idea that was in my head, and I did. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. So I have my image. It looks like it's stamped pretty well there. And I will set this aside. Bring in some just copy paper here to catch my embossing powder. And I am using some Simon Says Stamp Fine Detail Clear embossing powder here. It's what I have in my stash, so it's what I'm using. And I pretty much dumped the whole jar on there. Then I'll go ahead and set that aside as I funnel this back into the jar, because I know me, I will make a mess if I don't get this put away and closed up. So now I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss this. I did go ahead and choose out the colors I'm going to use. So I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, and I am using number 010, which is black, number 024, which is wine red, and number 302, which is haze blue. Now, I'm not going to color the whole image. I'm going to do just some spotlight coloring here. So I'm going to color up Santa's hat in this pretty red. And I have my water brush marker here if I want to pull out some of the red here. Trying not to get my head in the way. Now, the water kind of takes out some of the pigment. It lightens the pigment, so it looks a little more pink there. So I'm going to go over that in just a minute, just to kind of darken up that color just a bit. And then I'm going to color the bow on our gift as well, that same red. And in fact, let me go ahead and darken this up right now. Because what I'm going to do over the red, get that done, is bring in my Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen and kind of blend over that just to add a little bit of sparkle to the red on this card panel. I'm going to go in with my black and just kind of do the base of the boots here. And then I'm going to go in and color Santa's belt. And then with this light blue here, I'm just going to do kind of a shadow at the base of Santa so it doesn't look like he's just floating mid-air. Alright, and that's the gist of all the coloring I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it with that little bit of spotlight coloring. And I am going to trim it down just a bit. So right now I have it at 4 by 5 1/4. But I'm going to make it at 3 3/4 by 5. I just think it leaves a little bit a nicer border around this panel and the matte layer. All right. Sorry for the loud noise. And then I'm going to bring in some foam tape. This will actually help flatten this out because it's warped because of the heat embossing. So the heat gun warps it just a bit, but this will help flatten it out just enough. Alrighty. Oh no. See, I got that dirty. Let me clean that up. And it's not a problem. Trying to race myself to see how fast I can make this card, and in doing that, I am not allowing my watercolor to dry enough before I move on to the next step. Alright, so I'm going to put this on this matte layer of red, and this is just some cardstock I had in my stash. And then I will attach this to my card base. And I don't really want to flip over that panel because I don't think the watercolor is quite dry. So I'm going to go a little bit backwards and put the tape on my card base. And then what I'm going to do is add a white layer inside the card. Since the card base is black, we want to be able to write on the card. And something I told myself I was going to start doing this year, or for this next batch of donation cards, is when I make them, put my sentiment on the inside as well. Because then I'm trying to catch up last minute, and that's no fun. So let's put "With love from Santa" on the inside. We're just going to put that right there. Alrighty. And we'll use my VersaFine again. I like the way that this leaves such a nice crisp black line for sentiments. So it's perfect. at that. See? And then our card is done. Oh, I almost forgot. I want to color his gloves black as well. So he has some black leather gloves here that Santa's wearing. And I'm not going over the black with the watercolor brush because I want it to stay as dark of a black pigment color that I can get for his gloves. What do you think? Better? Oh yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. So here's the one we did on camera. Here's the one I did off camera where I allowed things to dry in between. But I think they both turned out just beautifully. And looks like it took me all of about 15 minutes to make this card. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.